What's going on, people? Welcome back to 30 Mins Arsenal with myself and my guy, Harry. What you telling me, bro? You good?
Yes, what's up, man? Premzy, long time no see. How have you been? You've been good?
Yeah, man, just busy. Obviously, without going to the games and stuff, I've got a little bit of free
Uh-huh.
time to try to do what I need to do around the house. So I've just been trying to put it to good
Yes,
use and get it done, man. But it
yes.
looks like football's back on the horizon, fam.
Oh my Lord. Yes, yes, yes. We haven't spoken for about 3 weeks, yes. And we've done the signings. We've done the 3 signings. I'm pretty sure you're going to say that we need more, and I totally agree with you on that factor. But yes, tour in the US, that game against Nuremberg, Havertz with all his banter, which I'm sure you're enjoying. And
You
the
know what?
new
I'm not
catchphrase.
actually enjoying it, Harry. I'm not enjoying it. I want him to come good for us, innit? It's just I've been
He
scared.
will. He
I've been
will, mate.
scared of what
Yeah,
I've seen, man.
okay, why don't we start off with a quick little prediction of how many goals Havertz is going to score and how many assists he's going to manage to give us? How about that then? Because everybody's so pessimistic, and so like some people are saying like, oh, he's going to score like 4 goals and like 2 assists. It's like, come on. He's going to do a lot better than that for us.
I can't see him getting a combined goals and assists. Putting them together, I can't see him getting more than 15. And that's being kind. I'm
Are
probably
you
looking at
including
a 12.
Champions League games too?
I'm including every game. I'm
Oh,
including every game. I think you got to look at it. Look at Jesus, how effective he's been at our team.
yep.
And he hasn't got over 20 goals. So a player that's been tried and tested in the Prem, we've seen the complications of what Havertz is going to be doing inside training and stuff like that. It's been a madness, you know what I'm saying? So I can't see him stepping into the team and just setting it on fire, man. I think Arteta's really got to find a use for him, find a position that's going to suit
Yep.
him down to the ground and integrate him into the team properly. So it is not going to happen quick. He should be settled in the league already. He's been here for 3 years, but I
Yep.
can't see him get more than, I'd say honestly, about 12 goals and assists. I can't see him going over that. If he does, happy days, I'll be happy and buzzing.
Yes.
What about you?
I think he will. I say 15, mate. 15 total combined goals and assists across all competitions. He'll manage it. I'm very confident about this, man.
Are you
Yes.
sure you watched that TikTok clip of him missing all
You're,
them
you're
chances?
talking about that banner with the MLS kind of like and him missing all those crosses and not being able to convert a
Skills
single
challenge,
one.
MLS skills challenge, and
Well.
it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good. But look,
It
we
was
are going to be.
blossom.
I said we are going to be playing MLS in the next few hours or so.
Yep.
So obviously we're going to take a deep dive into that game and get a few predictions and see what kind of systems we're going to play and stuff like that. But just before we touch on that, Nuremberg, did you watch the game?
I watched bits and bobs. I didn't see the whole game, there was a bit of some classic old banter that I haven't seen for a while with the goal that we conceded. Jokes, man. I don't want to see that this season once, not even once.
Yeah, do you know what? We can't take a lot out of that game because first game back, players got to get minutes in their legs. And I know we absolutely battered them last season and whatnot, but Nuremberg have had a few games before us, and we just changed the whole entire squad in the second half as well. So
exactly.
We can't take too much out of it. We've got to get a few minutes in the legs. And to be fair, from what I'd seen of Havertz and players like that, it didn't look promising. But again, I'm not going to jump on him too early. I'm just going to let nature take its course. But today, I'm excited for this game, though. I am excited for this game. I think
because they've had a couple of weeks trying to gel. We have Rice and obviously Timber into the whole system too. Partey and Smith Rowe have joined the squad again. They won't feature in the match itself, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the build-up of play too. Going back from Rambo and how Timber will be utilized and next to Saliba, hopefully. Just seeing Saliba in a competitive game is it's massive. And have you seen these photos, for example, like getting off the plane or getting on the plane or Saliba's physical presence, mate? He's a tower. He's massive. I don't know what's happened to him over the last couple of 3 or 4 months, but I think he's got bigger, hasn't he?
Well, to be fair, when you're out injured, I'm guessing you put a little bit of weight on, I suppose, but he still looks in top condition. He looks like he's in top condition. But even when you see
Yes.
him in real life, Harry, he's a big figure, man, and it's something that Arsenal have lacked for a number of years. Big centre half, strong, physical, and he's a massive, massive plus to this team. Without him in this team, I don't think we could have reached the heights that we reached last season.
And
it's going to
his
be exciting to see him back.
abilities too, his reading of the game, technical abilities, top notch. I mean, he started his career not a centre back, somewhere up front too. So, have you seen him do these like little shimmies and a kind of his body balance, his attacking?
You've been watching him take that corner and scoring, haven't you? That's what you've been
watching. Not just that one, not just that one. Yes, yeah.
But look, you touched on Thomas.
Yeah,
he's quality. But look, you touched on Thomas Partey there for a second, yeah. Now, I want to bring him up because there's been a lot of rumours around him leaving to go to Saudi. Obviously, he was left off the plane to go out to America. Now he has joined up with the squad. Is this positive signs for us that he's going to stay? Because it's cooled down a little bit, the talk.
Yes. Hell yes. You know, if we're bringing in somebody new into the whole DMF role, other than Rice, it's going to take them time to gel in. And Thomas Partey knows the situation in and out with how we play. And of course, I think Rice is going to be a game changer, historical signing. I would like to liken him to the signing of Sol Campbell all those years back. However, he's got a bit of clunkiness to him, especially with the England games. I know that England and West Ham completely playing in a different style. But Partey, the way he turns, the way he controls the game, I'm very confident that Rice would learn from him too. And squad depth, mate. We just can't have, even with Rice, with his impeccable history around his injuries, we just need somebody there to battle out the position in. It's always good to have a bit of competition. And Rice will learn from Partey too in order to how to orchestrate the Arsenal game. So I'm positive.
It is. I think if Partey obviously stays and he plays alongside Rice, I think they both get the best out of each other. I think there'll be a lot less pressure on Thomas Partey to have to do all the defensive work and worry that he's that lone general in midfield, and he can elevate his game a little bit and play a bit more progressive alongside with Declan Rice. If Declan Rice has a Thomas Partey in the team, you're going to get a much better Declan Rice. People have been saying, West Ham fans have been saying, Declan Rice, he can be a bit more of a progressive player because of the way West Ham play and they sit back and defend most of the time. He has to kind of sit in that number 6 role and he only gets forward here and there. With Partey being in that team, that gives him the license to push forward and stuff. And I think it's the right call. I think, Havertz coming into the team, there's a lot of talk about him filling in the role for Xhaka and Declan Rice dropping into that Partey position. I'm not too sure. I'm just hoping that he's coming for some squad depth because I can't see the defensive side of Havertz coming back defending. I can't see him doing that very well. And also, I just think the worrying sign for me that he's going to get a lot more game time, and this is why I've been really worried about Thomas Partey leaving, is because you don't come in and make him one of your highest paid players and just sit him on the bench. That's something Arsenal don't have in their DNA. Now, if we are going to be doing that, it just shows real change at this football club, that we are willing to play players big, just like Man City, where they have the likes of Grealish on the bench sometimes, Mahrez on the bench sometimes, all these fantastic players. It looks like we're moving in that direction, which could be positive for the club. And I think Thomas Partey staying, I'm all over it, Harry.
It's massive. It's massive. Now, if you were to play Thomas Partey and Declan Rice together in the same team in the starting 11, how would you orchestrate it? What kind of formation would you play?
I'd play the same position, the same formation that we're playing now. I'll just utilize Declan Rice in the Xhaka role and have him more box to box and letting him have that license to get forward.
He showed us that he can be a box to box midfielder towards the end of the season. With West Ham too,
because he'll help us win the ball up higher up the pitch as well, and that's something he's got in his game. He's great at intercepting, so if defenses decide to try to put passes through the midfield, he'll be there at the right time,
reading
right place.
The game that he has. I'm sure you've seen the figures that Declan Rice boasts, right? I mean, he's the
same one.
Mate, he's just the most number of tackles since 2019. apart from Ndidi, which is quite funny in itself. Recoveries, progression, his figures, just speak for itself, and I'm so positive about this Rice move. It's history, mate. Some people may disagree with me comparing him to Sol Campbell all those years back, but this is big, man. This is big. It's a big statement to the world.
It's something that Arsenal fans want to see. We want to see us challenge for the league and then go out there next season and go and improve on the squad, put the big bucks down. That's something we want to see as Arsenal fans. And credit to Arteta and Edu and the owners. They've gone out there and done it.
Yes.
For me, I don't want them to stop there. I do believe that they probably are going to try to clear a few players before they can buy a few players. We've been linked to a few more players over the last couple of days or so, but how true that is, we're going to have to wait and see. But look, today, the predicted lineup is there on the screen for the viewers. Well, let's just pull it up here now quickly, just to show you what is being predicted. Ramsdale in goal,
right.
Timber, Saliba, Gabriel and Tierney. Then Odegaard, Rice, Havertz, Saka, Jesus and Martinelli, which looks like a very strong lineup in my opinion.
Yep.
I would have liked to see maybe Partey. I don't know how fit he is, but I would have probably liked to see Partey in there over Havertz. But what do you think of that lineup?
Okay, well, you talked about Partey. I'm very keen to see what Kieran Tierney can do in this lineup. There's been talk of him leaving us, about him not being able to implement himself inside the Arteta system, in the Zinchenko style. But, he is such a solid quality player that you're going to need against dogged opposition. The fight is there. He knows how to bring out the goods for the Premiership. And I want to see him interact with Gabriel, but also with Havertz too, and Rice too. I want him to get his Arsenal career back online, because it looks as though Kivior played ahead of him for the Nuremberg game, right?
Yeah.
I think Kivior is going to be given the trust, the Arteta trust, for this season. He's going to be a key player, but we need squad depth, and we need Kieran's masterfulness and his fight. What do you say about Kieran?
Do you know what? I echo everything that you said. I feel like we definitely need to see him back in the team, integrated back into the squad, make him feel at home again, let his confidence get up. And he needs a bit of a run in the team, because, a lot of people talk about Kieran Tierney having a lot of injury problems. Yeah, in the past he has, but off late, he's not really been injured. Too tough. Zinchenko's been injured more than Kieran Tierney's been injured in the squad. Obviously, he's just not getting picked. The only time Arteta seems to pick him is when we need to make sure that we're not going to go a goal down if we're winning 1-0 or something like that. He'll bring him on to shore up. That just shows that he's got trust in Kieran Tierney defensively. And it's going to be interesting to see if this is the lineup which is predicted, and I think it's a good chance it will be. I have a feeling it's going to be more of a Timber coming into the midfield to support Odegaard, Rice and Havertz. And it's going to be more of a back three when we've got the ball of Tierney, Gabriel and Saliba. So it might be a new role for Tierney rather than asking him to be that inverted midfielder and push forward. He might just keep him to a defensive role. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. But I think Kieran Tierney, for me, I think we definitely need the squad depth going into the Champions League. We cannot give him up, because if we do give him up, look, Kivior is not a left back. He's a centre back. Yeah, the way we do play, you can have a few versatile players. But ideally, I don't think he's as mobile as Kieran Tierney. I don't think he's as quick as Kieran Tierney. No. And I don't think he reads the game better than Kieran Tierney. Yeah, when he was called upon, he stepped in towards the back end of the season and he did well. But Kieran Tierney, for me, he understands the country, understands the league. You get me? He was a proper Celtic boy and won loads of trophies. There's a leader in him. We need to keep him in the squad. I'm not saying play him every single week, but we need to keep him in and around the squad and show him that love, man, because this guy, man, since he's come into the club, people seem to forget he was one of the players that epitomized Arsenal showing fight, hunger, desire. You know what I mean? When it's cold and people wearing snuds and hats, he's out there like a warrior, showing them what real men are about, man. And it'd be sad to see Kieran Tierney go, but I have a feeling that Arteta's got a plan for him, to be honest with you, Harry. But
yes, very positive to hear your words, and don't forget Takahiro Tomiyasu in the equation too, great squad depth, I saw the Liverpool game the other day, Tomiyasu completely neutralizing Salah and Nunes, I'm sure he's got a key role to play this season too, with all the games in hand too. It's just so good, Prems, to have squad depth, to have 3 or 4 players in the same position to be, and this leads to unity, it leads to competition. I want to see Saka on the bench when he's knackered, instead of playing every single bloody game, he looks fresh and really good. That goal against Nuremberg just kind of epitomized his condition. But yeah, it's a pity about Nelson being injured right now.
Yeah. To be fair, it is because he needs a pre-season under his belt. He's been unfortunate with injuries over his career as well. Look, he signed that new contract. He probably wanted to push on now. And for me, I think I see Nelson more like, I can't say anything bad about Nelson because he was probably one of the only players, if not the only player, Eddie as well, to take the opportunity when it was given to him last season. However, I still see Nelson coming in and filling in the gaps in like the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup games. I can't see him featuring too heavily in the Premier League or the Champions League. But you never know when you need these players. It's good to have squad depth. We see what happened last season. You know what I mean? But look, Declan Rice, man, could be making his debut, Harry.
Ooh, we want to see him. I want to see him. I want to see him orchestrate the midfield. Smacking out his long legs. It's incredible. He's like a spider-esque figure. At times, being able to nick the ball just like that. And give these like 5-yard sprints all over the place. He's good in the air too. You don't forget that he's good in the air too. Yes. Yeah,
Timber. I'm excited to see Timber as well. I think I want to see what Timber's like alongside Saliba and Gabriel, because for me, obviously, we have to give Timber a little bit of time in regards to adapt to his players and the league. But from what I have seen of him, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I know absolutely everything about him. But he is a player that I have kept an eye out for, watched here and there in bits, watched the odd game, you know what I mean, when the Arsenal's not playing and whatnot. I've watched the odd game of him, seen him in the Champions League and stuff. And to be fair, he looks like a real solid prospect. He's 21 years of age. I think he'll only thrive with Saliba and Gabriel.
Did you see the farewell that Ajax gave him?
Yeah, on their Instagram. It's crazy, wasn't it?
It just speaks for itself. How respected he was, and people are only respected when they've got the skills, but also the mentality too. And the mentality that Timber is going to bring into the team with Saliba and Gabriel next to him. Oh, that back four is going to be rock hard, mate.
Where does that leave Ben White, though? Because Ben White has been a top player for us. We can't deny that. He's stepped in. He's played in a right-back position, which is probably his least favourite. He's probably more of a centre-back. But he stepped in and he's played very well for us. Look, last season, yeah, people can say he might not overlap enough or he might not give Saka enough support going forward. But for me, I've been quite happy with Benny Blanco. I think he's been given enough support. And also defensively, he's solid. So where does this leave Ben White in this kind of situation?
Well, we don't know. But there's even a strong possibility that he could even start the season playing right back. But Arteta, he's going to orchestrate it fantastically. You saw Pep, how he orchestrated his centre backs last season. He had like 5 or even 6 top quality centre backs. Yeah, Laporte, Diaz, and playing Ake inside there, Akanji in there too, and he would shift everything around, and that's the ideal, mate. Not starting with the same 11 and again and again and again. So I'm all up for it, and I think he's got the mentality to not be like pissed off of not playing. And he looked absolutely grueled and cooked and knackered towards the end of the season, right? So I'm still positive.
Fair, I can see Arteta, and I hope Arteta does what you're saying and rotates in a lot of games. Yeah, keep the spine of the team there. However, the bits around, maybe change it. Not, I wouldn't say game to game, but when you start feeling a little bit of you know, it's not going for you or teams are figuring you out, change it up so you're unpredictable. Because I think towards the back end of the season, we start to become predictable. Teams were doubling up on Saka, doubling up on Martinelli, shutting us out. Look at Newcastle, for example, when they came to the Emirates, they kind of studied us and they knew to cut the channels that we play through, sit on Thomas Partey. And I think if we become less predictable, because now it's been a season of Arsenal playing really well. In this pre-season, the teams that want a challenge, they're going to be sitting back looking at tapes from Arsenal, Man City, seeing how to shut out us kind of teams, especially Liverpool, because they're going to want to see themselves come back and challenge for the Premier League. And if we become less predictable, it's only going to elevate our game. And I think that's what Arteta's trying to do. I think he doesn't only just want to play with a back four. I think he wants to play with a back five as well, with having the two, full backs moving into midfield and going forward, and then having a solid three, something like what Man City's done. So it is going to be interesting to see. And I think these preseason games, it's going to give us a bit more insight to how Arteta wants to play. But he does normally keep his cards close to his chest, man. He does normally do that. Have you heard of any, the interviews that came out recently regarding Wayne Rooney talking about MLS and Odegaard speaking, and even Eddie was having a talk about how Arsenal is, and they asked him about Balogun, Eddie Nketiah, and I'm not going to lie, it sounded like he did say that they were supporting him. He's happy for him to be here, but there was a little sneaky feeling underneath. He didn't seem quite happy, having that competition of Balogun, because pre-season now,
it wasn't very comfortable being asked a question, right? I think it was one of those, little cheeky questions that the media spring on our players or on any football player. But of course, they're allowed to ask that question. And they have the same agent. So,
I didn't even know that,
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
They've got the same agent, dude. So this is a very, very interesting situation. And you know how Balogun's kind of presenting himself, he looks flash, and he is the big deal for the US side right now, and he wants to be the main man. So I'm not too sure how Arteta goes about with that sort of a flamboyance. You saw that article or those words from Saliba about when Saliba came back from loan, Arteta kind of refused to speak to him for about a week, and he was trying to test him.
I didn't even see that. No, I haven't seen that. Where did you read that?
I'll send you a link to that. That's a very interesting story. So when Saliba came back from loan from Marseille, and he had a very, very good season, and there was even rumors of him actually leaving, if you remember correctly. Saliba was talking about a whole week of Arteta, not blanking him out, but apart from saying an odd hello here and there, he wouldn't really speak to him at all, even on the training pitch too. But after a week, that changed, and then he got orchestrated into the team. There's a bit of that apparently.
I don't know what's going on, but it'd be good to see Balogun get his opportunity. Obviously, with it being MLS and America and the support he's going to have there as well, he'd probably bring the best out of him. But he did miss a few chances against Nuremberg, which I expected him to sit.
His movement, that was so good to see. The way he orchestrated himself into these kind of like one-on-one situations, and the speed that he has and the instinct that he has, there's a big.
Do you know what, Ari? I want to ask you a question. I want you to ask you a question that Wayne Rooney was asked and Arteta was asked.
Okay.
So the question is, would an all-star team work in the Premier League? So, for example, the way we're playing the MLS All Stars tonight, shall I say rather, could the Premier League do that? Wayne Rooney replied with no, and Arteta replied with he couldn't see why not. Yeah, there might be a bit of complaining here and there from a few managers, but in the future, it could potentially happen. I don't think it will ever happen in the Premier League, to be honest. But where do you stand on it?
Well, just being logical, an all-star team, even with its glitz and all with its skills, I'm sorry, there's no time to gel an all-star. If you're talking about an all-star team kind of playing with each other for 3 or 4 months, maybe, but no chance. The Premier League is the Premier League. You've seen so many players come from the Serie A or La Liga or wherever, star players who represent their leagues and just get decimated by the rhythm, the power, the absolute carnage that the Premiership gives. So no, I don't see it happening.
There'll be too many
Even
fights
if
and
I do have a
arguments.
lot of respect for our Americans, no, I cannot see an all-star American team functioning in the Premier League.
Do you know what? I don't think it'll work. I don't think it'll work in the Premier League. And I think with the MLS, it kind of works because football's not as big. They don't have the rivalry like the English do. And they've got many other sports that other people are invested in. So it's kind of a pure entertainment thing from them. But
Exactly.
you gotta give them credit though, Harry. They are trying to make strides to make football better. They've brought in Busquets. They've brought in Lionel Messi. They're looking like they're bringing in top talent into their league to try to progress it. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, Messi inside America?
Well, it's a beautiful send off to this majestic career that he has, to be honest. But you're talking about cultural, regional identity, which is equal to none. I think you know how it works with us English. How you're born into the system and you stick with your team until your death. It's the passion of your life. Well, you look at the NBA, yeah, it's massive. The money in there, zillions. However, these players change teams just like that, mate. 2 years, 3 years. There's no cultural identity from the players, and there's no. There aren't. You speak of Kobe Bryant. You talk about Luka Doncic. These NBA players who stick with one team, they're very, very rare. But you can't. Let's talk about Harry Kane. We don't know what's going to happen to him with Bayern and him going, but you get players who stick to the same team until they retire in British football. And
it is a rarity now. You don't see it as much, but the way the rivalry is second to none. But there's 2 players in the MLS All-Star team I wanted to touch on. I'm going to bring them up now. The one on the left is Thiago Almeida, who just recently won the World Cup with Argentina. And the one on the right is Alvaro Barriel. Now, both of these players I've been watching for a while. Now, I'm not going to lie. The reason I kind of got onto these players was probably about 2 years ago. Obviously, I was doing a bit of scouting on FIFA for my career mode and stuff. And I end up coming across I swear down, I end up coming, this is the maddest thing, Harry, because I'll just say it as is, I tell the truth.
Yep.
So I end up coming across these 2 players. I put them in my team. They were only like 18 or whatnot. And they were playing really well in the team. So I thought, you know what? Let me actually look into these guys. And they were playing in the Argentinian league for a team called Atletico Vélez or something like that.
Yep.
And I started to watch them. I started to, this is well before he was linked to even, getting a debut in the Argentinian national side, Almeida. And I swear to God, a lot of people that I've been on streams with, Saeed, going back 2 years, I've been saying, watch out for this kid. I've been watching out for him, and they're absolutely quality players. And I hope that they get displayed against Arsenal, because I really want Mikel Arteta to have a look at these 2 guys. And really, I want him to buy them, in my honest opinion. Not for now, but maybe for the future. And top quality talent. I think this is what I'm saying about the MLS. Their scouting is pretty phenomenal at the moment. They're not just going out there buying anyone. They're going to South America, looking in them lower leagues and picking out top talent. And now, I guarantee you, if these were to end up getting brought by teams in the Premier League, they're probably going for 30, 40 million, where they're picking them up for 2.5 million. And pennies, really, they're picking them up for. But they're both wingers. Almeida could play as a centre attacking midfielder. That's probably his preferred position. And Alvaro Barriel plays on the left wing and the right wing. But they're both very, very good. They're quick. They're dynamic. They've got a shot on him. There was a goal that Alvaro Barriel scored recently for Cincinnati. It was a mad goal from outside the box. Google it next time when we're off the stream. Go on YouTube and give it
My God, hats off to you. You've done your homework, and I see the passion that you have for the MLS, mate. Well, where's this coming from?
Do you know what? It's these 2 players. I'm not going to lie. I've been following them before they even got signed to the MLS. They've only been signed recently to the MLS. And I've wanted them for ages. A lot of streams that I go on, even from the start of when I started to do YouTube, I always said, watch out for these guys. My mates,
Wow.
I've got WhatsApp groups. I can say, watch out for these guys. And they're still under the radar. People don't really know about him. Thiago Almeida's come a little bit to the forefront since the World Cup. But I'm really excited to see these guys play. And I want to see if Wayne Rooney picks them and puts them in the starting lineup, because I don't want him ringing Man United and saying, you know what, there's 2 guys here that are decent. You know what I mean? You need to go and pick them up. I do not want that happening. But it's going to be interesting, man, to see how it works out. Austin Trusty as well. I want to see him get a goal. And did you see the crossbar when he hit the crossbar, the little challenge?
Boffin, excellent.
He looks decent. Well, he had a very good spell at Birmingham. So we're going to have to wait and see. But before we wrap it up, Harry, people, make sure you smash a like on this video. Subscribe if you're new. We are over 6K now. So thank you very much for the
congratulations, Premzy. Well done.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. And thank you as well for the time and effort that you put into the channel. And thank everybody that comes on the channel that's a part of it as well. And everybody that watches, that likes the videos, that subscribes. I appreciate it all. Can't grow without you folks, so you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. But look, predictions finally, Harry, for today's game. What are you going with?
I think it's going to be a bit messy, to be honest. You know, I think it's going to be something like 4-2 to Arsenal.
4-2. Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. I thought it could be
an all-star game. You know, this is what happens. You know, there's going to be lots of goals, not too much kind of bloodshed. Hopefully, you know. Yeah.
Well, if Wayne Rooney starts running on the pitch, then we know what that's like. We didn't have a good record against him, did we? So it's going to be a bit of a mad thing. But you know what? I think it'll be a 2-0 for me. I don't think we'll score loads and loads of goals. I'm hoping we do, and I can't see why we shouldn't. But I think at half-time, we're going to change the entire team, and I think it'll disrupt the balance of how we play and stuff like that and give them a chance of getting back in. But it's just to get minutes in the legs. I think the Americans are taking it a lot more serious than what we are, because they don't get the likes of Arsenal and United and all these big teams coming and playing in America. So I think the fans over there are treating it like a big, massive event, where Arsenal are just trying to get minutes in the legs. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm going with a 2-0. I'm going with a 2-0.
It's going to be a big party. You got to give it up. You got to big up the US for giving us such a massive kind of opportunity to show Arsenal glitz. You know, the media coverage is massive too. Now, Premzy, before we wrap it up here, can I ask you a question, man?
Go on, hit me with it.
Are you going to buy the new away kit?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no. In my eyes, it's absolutely fucking horrible, mate.
It started to grow on me, man. Seriously, it looks like a howler, but you know, it started to grow on me in the last 48 hours. Have you seen the
That's looking like a traffic warden and that, man? I'm telling you, I'm not liking it.
Islington with these sky blue little, you know, thingamajiggies, you know, with the font. Why did they put the sky blue inside there? I have no idea. But, you know, it started to grow on me, man. It started to grow on me.
Harry, you need to get a bit more sleep, man. I'm telling you now, man, that's no good. That's no good. I think the home kit's nice, but the away kit, it doesn't even look yellow to me. It looks fucking luminous, you know what I mean? It doesn't even look yellow to me. It looks like, you know, when one of them guys are riding a bike at night time and they need to be seen. That's exactly what it looks like. I'm not with it, to be fair. I'm not with it. And you know what? It's quite disappointing, because over recent years, every Arsenal kit that's come out has been pretty decent.
This has been a gem. Away kit from last year. What a beauty.
The best one. Best one. Well, people, we have come to the end. It is a little bit of a different 30 mins Arsenal, but considering we got a game, I thought me and Harry, we got to be chopping it up about the game and the MLS and stuff like that, people. But like I said, we'll see you next week. Peace and love. Take care of yourself.
Nice one. Ta-ta. Bye-bye.